At the bottom of the hinge, the barbell good morning generates significant mechanical tension throughout the posterior chain. When performed with precision, it becomes one of the most effective accessory lifts for strengthening the hamstrings and lower back. This guide covers the 4 distinct phases of perfect form, the mechanics of preventing spinal injury, and how to combine this lift with mobility work to reach new athletic peaks. Because this movement involves heavy spinal loading, you must seek a professional evaluation before starting, especially if you have a history of disc issues or poor circulation. Equipment requirements depend on your level. Beginners use a PVC pipe. To master the hinge, advanced lifters require a barbell, a rack, and safety pins. Establishing these safety baselines and using the correct equipment creates the necessary environment for strengthening the lower back without unnecessary risk. To perform the lift effectively, you must understand the anatomical forces at play beneath the skin. Your spinal erectors work isometrically to keep the back flat. This allows the hamstrings to act as primary movers, absorbing the load in a lengthened position. 2015 research from Vygotsky confirms hamstring activation correlates directly with the weight on the bar. Phase 1 is the setup. Set your rack safety pins just below the height where your torso would be parallel to the floor. Place the bar across your upper traps or rear delts and take a shoulder-width stance. Phase 2 is the brace. Take a deep diaphragmatic breath into your belly for internal pressure. Pull the bar down into your back to engage the lats and unlock your knees. Phase 3 is the hinge. Push your hips straight back. Allow your torso to hinge forward naturally until you reach a 45-degree angle. Phase 4 is the return. Drive your hips forward to return to a standing position. Squeeze your glutes at the top and exhale. Executing these 4 phases in sequence converts the good morning from a high-leverage risk into a controlled tool for building posterior strength. We must now address the 2 most frequent technical errors that contribute to injury. The squatmorning occurs when you bend your knees downward rather than pushing the hips back. To fix this, keep your knee angle fixed once the rep begins. All movement must come from the hip joint. More dangerous is rounding the lower back, which places sheer force on the lumbar vertebrae. Correct this by keeping your chin upright and focusing your eyes on a target at belt height, mechanically anchoring the spine in a flat position. If you cannot maintain this flat back, return to the broomstick good morning. Mastering the hinge with 0 load is a prerequisite for adding weight. You can also use the banded good morning for a joint-friendly variation, or the Zercher good morning, holding the bar in your elbows to increase the demand on your core stabilizers. Focusing on neutral spinal mechanics and using scaled variations allows you to manage the inherent risks of the movement while supporting long-term strength gains. After a loaded session, you should utilize a standing elevated hamstring stretch to maintain tissue health. Place your foot on a step with the knee straight and toes pointing forward. Keep your back straight as you tip forward from the hips, pushing your buttocks out behind you until you feel a pull. These movements work together to balance the posterior chain. The good morning builds strength as the muscle lengthens under load, while the static stretch helps release tension and improve resting flexibility. For runners, this pairing builds capacity to prevent hamstring strains and reduces the risk of cramping. Furthermore, by strengthening the spinal erectors and requiring the shoulders to stay retracted, the good morning counters the slumped posture common in endurance athletes. Athletic longevity relies on this cycle, building load tolerance in the spine and hamstrings with the good morning, then restoring motion with the static stretch. You now have the sequence required to perform the good morning safely, scale it to your current ability, and recover effectively. When training the muscles of the lower back and legs, patience and perfect form are the only metrics that matter. If you found this breakdown useful, please like the video and share it with a training partner who is working on their hip hinge. Subscribe to the channel for more evidence-based tutorials designed to keep you moving efficiently. Consistency in your form and your recovery is the most effective way to build a resilient body for peak performance. We'll see you in the next video.